Hello everyone. In our session today, we want to take a look at Bitlocker. Bitlocker is a tool that allows you to encrypt both the operating system volume and any other data volumes that you have on your server. For example, if your drive is encrypted and you add files to that drive, those files also become encrypted. When the files are moved from that drive, they lose their encryption. So not only will BitLocker encrypt the data, you have data on volumes, but it will also encrypt the volume that has the operating system installed. We can say that BitLocker is a security feature. It protects your data against theft. So you have enhanced protection for your data. If someone steals your hard drive or your computer itself, BitLocker will protect the data. When the person is then trying to access that data, BitLocker will lock that data down because that data then becomes encrypted and it prevents unauthorized access to the data. Let's take a look at some of the operating systems that can use BitLocker. We have Windows 7 Enterprise and Ultimate, Windows 8 Pro, Windows 8 Enterprise, Server 2008 and 2008 R2, Server 2012, 2012 R2. We also have Windows 10 Pro and Enterprise, and we have Server 2016. If you're using removable media, such as an external hard disk or a USB drive, we use what we call BitLocker to go. Let's take a look at the security technology behind BitLocker. BitLocker uses a chip to store the security key. That chip is called a TPM chip, Trusted Platform Module. But if you have a computer that does not have a TPM chip, you can still be protected using BitLocker because you can store the key on a removable USB drive. But if you do that, the USB drive will be required each time you start the computer so that the system drive can be decrypted. How does this all work? If there's a disk error, or if there are any changes made to your BIOS, to your hardware, to the system files, or your startup files, your system drive will not be unlocked. The computer just will not start until you enter the 48-digit BitLocker recovery password or use a USB drive with the recovery key as a recovery agent. In order to enable BitLocker in Windows Server 2012, we have to add the role. So we're going to add the BitLocker role. Click on Manage, Add Roles and Features. At the Before You Begin screen, we want to click on Next. At the Installation Type screen, we want to also click on Next. on the Select Server Roles screen, we click on Next also. And at the feature screen, we want to look for the BitLocker feature. BitLocker is a feature. And we have here BitLocker Drive Encryption and BitLocker Network Unlock. Let's click on BitLocker Drive Encryption. And we're going to add the features that come along with BitLocker Drive Encryption by clicking Add Features. And let us pause a moment to take a look at the description for BitLocker. As we said at the beginning of the session, BitLocker Drive Encryption helps us to protect data on lost, stolen, or inappropriately decommissioned computers by encrypting the entire volume and checking the integrity of early boot components. So if data is lost, someone tries to access that data. If someone is trying to take apart your hard drive to open your computer, if somebody is trying to go into the BIOS and make changes in your computer, BitLocker will detect and will lock your computer down. So when the computer is booting, BitLocker is checking the integrity of the early boot components. If everything goes okay, if BitLocker detects that there were no changes and no errors, only then will the data be decrypted. So in order to do that, you have to have within your system this chip that we call Trusted Platform Module, TPM. We want to click on Next to continue. And you want to make sure that you have all the features you needed. So this is your confirmation page. And you see here we have BitLocker Drive Encryption and all the features that go along with the BitLocker encryption. Notice here that you will need to restart the destination server. So we're going to click Restart because we need the server to restart once we have installed BitLocker before we can use BitLocker. So we're going to click on Install. And we're going to pause our video until the install has completed. It is also possible for us to install BitLocker by using the Windows PowerShell utility. And let's take a look at the commandlet to do that. Install Windows feature BitLocker - include all subfeature space hyphen include management tools space hyphen restart. So pay attention to that commandlet. You might see it in your exam. Next, we want to take a look at the network unlock feature. So we're going to go back into our server and we're going to add that network unlock feature. And we're going to discuss what the network unlock feature will provide for the BitLocker user. To install the feature, we want to click on Manage, Add Roles and Features, Next. Next on the installation type. Next on the destination server. And we click Next to get to the feature page. You can see that we already have the BitLocker Drive Encryption installed. and we want to click on Bitlocker Network Unlock, and we want to add features for the Bitlocker Network Unlock feature. Let us take a look at the description for the Bitlocker Network Unlock feature. Now, this network unlock feature is mainly used for systems that are joined to the network, and is used in a scenario where you have the administrator probably doing some work on the operating system of a computer. Now, you would remember that if anything is changed within the operating system and in the BIOS, when the computer restarts, BitLocker will detect that something has changed and it will lock itself down. It will lock that drive down. But in this circumstance, we might need the computer to be restarted. The administrator does work on the computer, probably some maintenance work. And in order for him to complete the task, the system needs to be restarted. What the network unlock feature does is, even though there was a change in the system, the BitLocker network unlock will automatically unlock the system so that the computer will be able to restart. In order for the network unlock feature to work, we have to have a Windows Deployment Services server role installed on the computer, and we also need to have DHCP service on the network. Let's click Next to continue. And you can see here that once you install that network unlock role, you will see notes here for the WDS server. So this server will automatically be installed with all the role services. We want to click Next on the WDS page here. And you will see the two role services of WDS, which is the deployment server and the transport server. They're already ticked off because you need the WDS server in order for the network unlock feature to work. So we're going to click on Next. You look at your installation, and please note, if you're using BitLocker Network Unlock, one of the things that you need would be Windows Deployment Services. So we're going to click on Install to run the installation, and we're going to pause the video until the installation has completed. The installation has succeeded and we want to close. There are some group policies for the network unlock feature that we want to take a look at. So we need to go into group policy management to take a look at these group policies. We want to click on Tools, Group Policy Management. For the purposes of this lab, we're going to look at the default domain policy. So we're going to right click and edit. And we want to click on Computer Configuration, Policies, Windows Settings, Security Settings, Public Key Policies. And then we want to choose BitLocker Drive Encryption Network Unlock Certificate. At this point, we want to right-click the BitLocker Drive Encryption Network Unlock Certificate folder and say Add Network Unlock Certificate if you are going to use the network unlock feature. For the purposes of the lab, we are going to cancel the certificate box. We also want to take a look at some group policies for BitLocker Encryption itself. We go in computer configuration, policies, administrative templates, Windows components, and here we see Bitlocker drive encryption. And we have a number of policies: store Bitlocker recovery information in Active Directory, choose default folder for recovery password. And there are a number of policies that will affect or can affect the Bitlocker encryption. For your exam, know where to find these policies. We've looked at the installation of Bitlocker. We've looked at the benefits and uses of Bitlocker. We also took a look at the network unlock feature. We described why we would need to use the network unlock feature. And remember also that you need the WDS service. You also need DHCP service. And you will need to import a certificate if you are using the network unlock feature. This is the end of our session on Bitlocker, and I would like to thank you for listening.